About some NASCAR news for 2021, the Gen car that's due out in 2022, some NASCAR wheeling modified tour scheduling, and some other racing news when we come back.
Inravio.com.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, look at we're maskless because we're practicing
Maskless.
social distancing, and with modern technology, there's actually 6 feet between us, in case everybody's wondering. So,
Yeah.
you know, social,
We can do these things.
we can do these things.
Smoke and mirrors.
We have the tools and the technology.
I'm 400 miles away in a different studio.
Exactly. Chuck's in the New York studio, and I'm in the Mastic studio. And I'm not kidding. If you look at our credits at the end, you'll see that we have studios there. So anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I spoke to RJ today about the Miami studios coming along.
Nice.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a, of course, with the virus and whatnot, there was a little bit of a, shutdown going on over there, but things are back and happening again. So
There you go.
actually, they're actually producing some shows back in there, and then they got shut down again
Absolutely.
because, it is Florida. After all.
It is.
Well, no, because, they're not as well as we are in New York right now. So,
No, they're not. Who knows?
but yeah. So,
Who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, hey, last week NASCAR announced that they're going to test the next gen stock car for 2022.
was that another next gen?
Yeah, because, the teams aren't spending enough money building and rebuilding race cars.
Rebuilding the old gen.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about what the as they're calling it, the Gen stock car for 2022 actually is. Former champions Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Will drive in the 2 test sessions. Today's test, they actually had a test today, was on the 2.32-mile Roval, and Wednesday's test will be on the 1.5-mile D-shaped oval. And they'll be testing it out. The car has been tested at other facilities, but there's been some changes based on recommendations. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. The new car will see a new chassis, redesigned suspension system, an electric motor. Keep that electric motor. This is from NASCAR. They said
This is the new gen?
yeah, for 2021. And a single lug wheel design similar to Indy, Formula One, things of that nature.
Really? This is the new gen car
Yeah,
for 2021?
2021. And it'd actually be in use in 2022. But they're going to be testing and using and playing with in 2021 until they get it right. It should be interesting.
I'm
Go ahead, say.
I'm speechless right there. I'm picturing watching the race like this.
No, Chuck, look.
No, but it's quiet.
I've watched
But
races
it's
with
quiet,
you.
but
I watch races. This is how you watch races.
No, but it's like it'll be quiet. There won't be any crank it up or nothing.
I guess not, because that wasn't
because
addressed.
the electric.
Yeah, they gave me
I'm having a hard time thinking there's not going to be any.
What some of the changes to the cars are going to be.
Because really, when you think about it, I remember my first race. I got to tell you, and it was we actually got stuck there on purpose. I guess if you could say. We were in Florida, Daytona, for the Firecracker 400 way back in the day.
Oh, back in the day, yeah.
And we were stuck in traffic. The race had already happened, and you could hear it. It was like thunder. Out on the road, it was like the ground was shaking.
Yeah.
I was in the van waiting to get into this place, and it was shaking like this. It was unbelievable.
Right.
And I'm just thinking that's all gone.
And
Because without the motor
they
sound, what are you going to get out of that?
I got from NASCAR, the exhaust system.
Exhaust system? It's an electric motor.
Exactly. Isn't mentioned because it is electric, but there's a
It's
mess up in
a
there.
big slot car.
And if somebody can pick up on the mess up that they gave me, that NASCAR gets sent, I'll give you accolades because I'm not going to send you prizes because we're in the middle of COVID. So there's no prizes, right? So anyway, here's some of the things. It'll be the first sequential gearbox in NASCAR history. And what that means, it's like playing a video game. You tap next to the steering wheel to shift.
Right.
You know, some of the cars that are on the highway today.
So it's like an Indy car.
Yes. They're going to transition from a solid axle to independent rear suspension,
Okay.
which some of the higher end sport cars made in the world today already have that.
Yeah, these cars could be unbelievably fast.
18-inch wheels
Ooh.
with a single lug design.
With spinners?
Yep, with spinners, and this way they can change the tires a lot quicker, and they don't.
No, like the wheels go one way and the rims go the other way?
Oh no, they don't do that.
Spinners.
No. Yeah,
Chrome spinners?
Yeah, you see that in certain areas of cities and inner cities, not on a NASCAR track. The wheels will become aluminum to make them lighter.
Wow, okay.
No more steel wheels.
Now, what about safety concerns on that?
We didn't get there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you're jumping
No,
ahead.
I mean on the aluminum wheels is what I'm thinking.
That's why they're testing.
Okay.
Now, possibly, NASCAR is saying, possibly, there'll be a fuel hose that'll fuel the car instead of a gas can. You got the same look that I got when I read that.
A fuel hose.
There's no fuel, it's electric. They're plugging in. I guess I win the t-shirt.
When there's a caution flag, does the motor stop? You know, and
Like in
it's-
go-karts.
and it starts back up again, and it goes.
Yeah. But the motors are electric, so there is no fuel. I think what they
Well-
meant to say, a plug-in to charge batteries.
Okay.
That's what I think they meant. And
Wait a minute. So they come in for the 14-second pit stop. They're
which will
gonna-
be now about 8 seconds.
Yeah, because the wheels are going to be quick, right? So are they going to put in the jacks put the thing in the
The jacks
bumper?
are going to be on the chassis.
Right. They pump the car up and it goes up like
They
IndyCar.
press the button, comes up like an Indy car.
Are they plugging it in or is it
I don't know.
self-powered?
They didn't tell
They're
me.
going to carry a bottle of nitrous oxide for
I
that?
think it's going to be installed in the car. They just
Really?
press the button.
So
From what I was reading.
Really?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to carry that much
Just
to make that happen?
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay.
Because if you look at the chassis of the race cars today,
It could be compressed air, I guess. I mean, they
yeah,
could do.
but the
It's still gotta
NASCAR
go
chassis
somewhere.
of today are built on like 1965 technology.
Yeah. Let's
And I don't know what production car made in America today is rear-wheel drive, they're all front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away from the production car image. But the steering box will be eliminated, and it will go to a rack and pinion.
Right,
type thing.
makes sense. All that's good. I mean, it makes
Just like
the
the
car-
modifieds already have and
Right,
have had for
right. It's going to make this fast.
Yes.
This car could be unbelievably fast. Wow. This is going to be a sports car.
It's going to be different. It's not going to be what we thought of. And I reached out to a couple of fabricators that work down south, and nobody's talking. It's like they're not allowed, you know. And even if you say off the record, they don't want to take that chance. So
But now they're going to have to carry a lot of battery in order to make this
the
happen.
battery will be enough. The batteries that'll be in place will be enough to allow them to run a 500-mile, or like in Martinsville.
Yeah, but what kind of
4
batteries
hour.
are we talking about? That's
They
got to be a
didn't say.
lot of weight in battery.
Yeah, they didn't say that at all. But now here's my, you know me, I like to,
My
sometimes
concern is-
I want to go in my closet and get my black hat out. They go into the electric car to
Yeah.
save energy.
Is that why they're doing it?
Well, yeah. So how do you charge a battery without electricity, which is fossil fuel driven?
Well, they're going to have, that's it. Every pit box is going to have solar panels on top of it. So you come in and they plug it in, and then there's elevator music that plays. While you're waiting for it to charge.
It's like
the tires are done in like 2 seconds.
It's like
and
putting
then
your
you just
cell
wait.
phone in.
And you wait.
It charges overnight.
Well, that's it. Well, that's interesting. And they go into a full. This car is going to be full in. They had to have done some.
Oh, they've been
pre-testing.
testing for quite some time.
They've been working on this car.
Absolutely. And
Because I'm thinking this would be cool if they would have like had, a race,
yeah.
like an endurance race or something.
To see how long it goes.
Well, yeah, do an endurance race, fast for speed and distance.
No,
I'll tell you.
but
a NASCAR race, and it could be an oval, or it could be a roval or something. But just go, put it. I don't know.
Now, back in my NASCAR
Do an
days,
800-mile race.
There's no
like
secret.
a 24 hours of Daytona or something.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
There's no secret that I worked for NASCAR for quite a number of years, and I did spend
what you
some
call
time in the R&D center.
You calling it worked for NASCAR?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was work, please. Because when you have a tech
showed up?
director who doesn't like you, you get all the jobs that the young kids should
That
get.
nobody doesn't want.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother story. If we have time tonight, we'll talk about that.
Moving right along.
That's when you look at these things. NASCAR's trying to do the right thing, and fortunately.
Yeah, no, I think that would definitely. That's right in the pocket.
But like you said, I go to Martinsville. I like the fact that the next day I still can't hear because my ears are humming.
Well, there's definitely going to be a culture shock for what we're used to.
Exactly.
There's no doubt about that.
And how long will that take for these changes to flow down to the weekly series across the world?
And how is that going to work out
Right,
cost-wise for the weekly series? And what
You
they're
go
doing?
to your local short track, and in these racetracks that would have been there since the 30s, 40s, or 50s when it was nothing but nothing, that now that urban sprawl has put shopping centers and condos around racetracks, they want to close them, they'll have nothing to complain about because all they're going to hear is nothing.
Nothing.
So they'll find another reason to complain. But it should be interesting to see how it all works out moving forward.
That's why I would have loved to have seen, like, if they had an exhibition thing that they start putting
Yeah.
forward. Even if it was once a month or something, but where you can watch it, that would be be something to talk about. That's kind of interesting. It really is.
But like I was saying,
And I'm
earlier,
sure it's green technology and everything else. I mean,
Exactly.
so that's all good stuff.
And
right
then
there.
speaking of green technology, our sponsor is green technology.
Absolutely. And that's an important thing. And one of the things that we want to reiterate, if you have already tried that link, the first show, it wasn't up and running yet because we kind of jumped the gun. But the link is up now, and it's greenteamny.com/5051. And we appreciate you going there and taking care of, because when you go there, we're of course getting a little credit for that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's a good thing, because they're going to see how many people are coming from this show, and there's a lot of people watching this show, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So these guys, Green Team Long Island, I call these guys because like everybody else, on Long Island, I got my electric bill, and it was like 3 times the price. So I call these guys because I'm trying to keep prices down here. If I'm going to do something, retire, whatever the case may be. Who doesn't need a couple extra $1,000 here or there, right?
Yep.
So I made an appointment with the Green Team, and they came. They worked around my schedule. They made a time that worked for me. They came, and masked, very safe, the whole thing. And it only took about 30 minutes. But these guys were all over the house. They were down in the crawl space. They were in the attic. They checked out the heat, the windows, the AC, the insulation. They looked at everything. Anything that could save me money, they looked at. No cost. This is a free thing. This is a free thing with PSEG Long Island. So it's all paid for. It's all it's all. I'm getting the finger over here, not the good finger. So it's all paid for. It's all paid for by PSE&G. So the idea was, after they were done, they reviewed what they found, and they came up with any suggestions that they could to help me in order to save me some money. And it's a great thing, right?
Oh yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to talk about some interesting stats that I want to share with people, and some other NASCAR information when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, what's I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
You keep your car tuned up and well maintained, right? Why? Because preparation and maintenance keeps your investment running perfectly. But are you doing the same for your largest investment, your home? Right now, homeowners can take advantage of a free home energy assessment sponsored by PSEG Long Island. Our experts will check your home for energy waste and help you get utility and state rebates and incentives, making your home healthier, more valuable, and more efficient, saving you money. This limited time offer won't last, so get to greenteamny.com/5off5on and sign up for your free home energy assessment now.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Hello, everybody. We're back.
Welcome back.
So, I'm sitting there thinking, how did Kevin Harvick not win the championship? Other than the fact that he didn't make the Final Four. It's like, the NCAA basketball tournament, the Final Four. He didn't make it. The way the rules work, the way the points work out, he didn't make it. So here's the top 3 stats in NASCAR in the Cup Series that you would think, for guys in the top 3 of all these things, he should be in the championship. So let's look at the driver in 2020 who had the most wins in 2020.
Okay.
It was Kevin Harvick with 9. Let's look at the guy who led the most laps. It's Kevin Harvick with 1,531. Let's look at the guy who ran the most total laps the whole season. It's Kevin Harvick with just under 10,000. How is he not in the Final Four? This is a flaw in this playoff system. It's win to be in, and when you looked at that last race, it was like watching paint dry because the top 4 playoff contenders were in the top 5 the entire day, and that's all the camera showed was those guys. Now, I understand you got a product you got to sell, but how does a guy like Kevin Harvick, why is he was the most dominant driver all season long, but he can't get in the playoffs?
You know what, especially with racing, how many loopholes we find in order to do what we need to do to get it done. You know what I mean? And apparently, he didn't find that loophole.
No. And I guess he doesn't have a car owner like Rick Hendrick, not to knock his car owner. But, when Jeff Gordon didn't make the chase when it was called back then, Mr. Hendrick went to the powers to be and said, if Jeff Gordon's not in the Final 4, which then became the Final 5, Rick Hendrick Motorsports might take his stuff and go race somewhere else. And next you know, they made a provision for Jeff Gordon to be in the Final 5. Just like when the first time Richard Petty in the 70s did not make the Daytona 500 through they called them the twin 125s back then.
Yeah.
And then through time, and you just go your best time, or you finish in the twins, and you were in, and Richard Petty didn't get in. So Richard Petty went to Mr. France and says, this will be the first 500 don't have a Petty.
Well, has there been any, scuttlebutt about them changing it? Doing anything to it? I mean, they
No,
must be
because-
looking at it going, you know what, that doesn't seem right, does it?
Here's the thing, and
You know, they're smart people. I think they're pretty smart.
They-
They got this
they
race
are.
season in the books. I mean, that's kudos to them for that.
Absolutely.
That's, you know what? And all these other tracks, too, that, local tracks that got it done.
got
And
it
if
done.
you were a race car driver and you raced this season, that's something to talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
Considering that, you really didn't have that much
But and I look
ability to do it with everything that was going
the
on.
playoff system in NASCAR is very similar to the playoff system in hockey. It's an elimination. So who's ever hot then is going to be the guy that's in. Kevin Harvick should have been one of those guys, I guess, but he wasn't hot the last 8 weeks. Was he close? Absolutely. Did he just miss? Yeah, I believe he missed by 2 points. But my argument, and I'll call it an argument, is this playoff chase. Let's get these guys into the show and make it interesting for the last 4 races. Is not really working because, and nothing against the top 4. No, nothing against Chase Elliott, who won the championship based on the point system that's there, and Chase Elliott did a very good job, and Hamlin and Keselowski and whatnot. But the system doesn't reward the consistent driver. The system rewards who's hot now, in my opinion.
At the end of the season.
Yeah. I can remember years ago, before they had the chase and the playoffs and whatnot, it was drivers started to race for points. Wait, if I get this many points, I'm good. If that guy finishes ahead of me this week, I have to finish this.
That's what
time.
I'm saying. They're good at making that happen, boy. I was never really never that close to really make that thought happen, but they were always good at knowing the numbers, and knowing angles and where they were at and what was going to go down. And if I do this, I can. If he does, I can.
Yeah, and when you
They
look
were
at
good
it,
at that. Awesome.
There's 36 charters, and in order to get qualified for a race, you got to have a charter. But then when you look at the charters, there's teams or charters that Mr. Hendrick has 4 of them. Joe Gibbs has, 3 of them off the top of my head. And I don't have this written down, and I'm not good statistically with that stuff. But make it so that each team can only have 1 charter, each owner. And let's face it, and this is done in a lot of series, from the Cup on down to the Touring Series. You have a 2-car team. You own one, and I own one. But at the end of the week, you're writing all the checks.
You're writing all the checks, yeah.
You're the owner. So when you look at those things, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, now, isn't that what they're talking about with Gibbs?
Right.
With that new team?
Yeah. And the 2311 team is being investigated now by NASCAR because they're getting support from Joe Gibbs Racing. And NASCAR thinks that's his way of getting more test time.
No. Okay.
Do I agree with that? I don't agree, but I don't necessarily disagree either.
Well, I mean, how many motors are out there were,
Hey,
Roush motors or
when Yates was alive,
Yates?
if you had a Ford, you had a Robert Yates motor.
Absolutely.
And now with this Gen stock car for 2022, they're being built by Richard Childress. That's who's
The
building
cars?
them. Yeah, for the 2022. He's building these test cars. I would think that, an independent company would be building these cars,
Well, question for you on the motor. Who's building those? They're going to build their own, you think? Or is that going to be like here's the motor? Like a crate motor?
I said this about 10 years ago when the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour went to the crate motor, and you could have your choice whether you wanted a crate motor or a built motor. And all the rules favored the crate motor, because you bought it from NASCAR.
Right, sure.
And it's like weekly tracks who have a crate motor that you have to buy from them, and you can't do anything to it. This is what I see. This is what I see down the road because NASCAR already is involved with like the rims. I've spoken to a couple of team owners at the higher levels.
The aluminum rims.
The steel rims that are being used today.
Okay.
You don't own them. You lease them.
You lease them, yeah.
You lease those rims, and you call your guy, the tire guy, and say to Goodyear, "Hey, listen, I need 12 sets this weekend. You use my rims." Now, how long is it going to be before it's like NASCAR? It's going to be like NASCAR / car rental company. Okay, what car do you want, and what level do you want?
So what do you think that's about?
It's about money. It's about money.
Do you think that's what they're doing?
Absolutely.
The rims?
With everything. There's racetracks across North America. You got to buy your motors from the racetrack. You got to buy your fuel from the racetrack.
Well, that's the local tracks.
Some
Absolutely.
local tracks, even you have to buy a pit spot for. I
Really?
I went to Bethel.
So even though you go in,
Oh yeah. Now there's no secret. I ran Bethel with the vintage cars, and I
You crashed in the pits.
And I crashed in the pits, and you go to park. There's an empty spot. Oh no, that's Gago Paisano's spot. This is my third time here. I haven't seen him yet. He paid for it. If he shows up, you'll have to move in to be nowhere. So there's a Long Island guy who, and I'll say, Jeff
I
Otto
didn't
and his dad, they race up there. They did a 2020 INEX champions there, and congratulations to them, Otto Racing. He pulled into a spot, and nobody stopped him. So he went and made a sign.
my spot.
Otto Racing. Nobody could park there because they think he bought it.
Really?
And this is what's happening.
So how come you didn't make a sign?
I have enough trouble getting there.
You didn't have
sometimes.
an
I'm
old
making-
pizza box you could write something out there?
I didn't have a car owner that was creative enough.
To have a pizza box handy.
Unbelievable. But when you look at that, wow. It's all about making money. And if the tracks, whether it's the weekly racing series, the independent series, or Cup, the tracks and the sanctioning bodies and the participants that are putting under, they need to make money. They need to make money. And so now you got to start. I'm telling you, it's going to be in 2023. You're going to say, all right, I'll take 4 of those, and then there's going to be an option list. You want this, you want this, you want this, you want this. Trust me on this. I said this 5 years ago. No, I said this in 2012. So that's 8 years ago. When the modifieds went to the spec motor, I said eventually you're going to have to lease or buy everything from the sanctioning body, and that's how they control things. And modifieds are called modifieds because the fabricators took what they had and they modified it. And back in the day, you didn't need a number on the car to see who it was. You knew that was Charlie Gisamba. You knew that was Richie Evans.
Yeah,
You knew that was
they
Jerry
all
Cook.
look different.
They could come out in primer color,
And you would know who they were.
and they all have white fire suits. Today, it's so cookie cutter across the board, every series.
Well, once they start bringing in the safety stuff and whatnot, everything's going to, well, you got to do this and you got to do that.
Yep.
You got to do this, you got to do that. So.
Oh yeah, and I'll share this. I'm going to say it was like 2010, 2009. I had suggested at one of our R&D meetings for safety that in the modifieds, excuse me, they had that curved windshield. All the modifieds. That's how they came. That's whoever built it. That was the rule. And
The
I
little,
said, yeah, it's like a fighter plane, on a
yeah,
P-51.
yeah. It was like a jet ski. It had the little windshield.
So I said, why do we have that? Why don't we have a full windshield, at least a 3/4, flat and on an angle, so that when a guy blows a motor, the rear end, parts start flying around.
It's protection.
It doesn't get funneled into the driver's compartment. It's never going to happen. Yeah, but so I drew pieces of paper. I'm giving him down. Joe, no, you're not a race car driver anymore. You're an official. That's what I was told on more than one occasion. So, a few races in, Brian Chu is racing in his Tormod. Somebody blows a motor.
Don't you hate that?
The rod from the piston, went flying through, hit the windshield, was diverted to the back of the race car, hit the bar, the 7B bar, came back, hit the dashboard, hit his helmet. Now, it's hit 3 things. It broke his helmet. 2 weeks later, straight windshields are mandatory. Why does something have to happen before a rule is changed?
Do you remember, I'm not sure if you remember this, but...
I remember everything.
Do you? Do you remember
Most
you remember the piece of roll bar that came off somebody else's car through my passenger window? And I'm telling you, if it didn't hit the bar, the roof bar, it hit the roof bar and came slamming down.
Yeah.
If it didn't hit that roof bar, if it was a little bit lower,
Yeah.
and it was, it was probably a Nerf bar of some kind, because it was jagged on the end. It was only about maybe a little over a foot, and that thing came slamming through there. The window's open on that side, and somehow or another must have got hooked and got flung, and it came flying through there. I was like, whoa. Makes you almost think about a window net for the other side.
It does. And you go back, you go way back. Richard Petty was running, I forget which track it was at, and there was a wreck, and I believe it was Dale Earnhardt Sr., the late Dale Earnhardt, lost the wheel. The wheel came through the windshield and ended up in the driver's compartment. 2 weeks later, there was a bar in the middle of the windshield, and it's affectionately called the Petty bar.
Right, the Petty bar, yeah.
And to stop that, now, who, as a designer and builder of race cars, wouldn't you think that if a tire could fit through that, you might want to put a bar so it doesn't?
Right. Well, I mean, even the little bar that's on the side there.
Yeah, the brain bar.
No, on the side. The little, it looks like a window.
Oh, yes.
Like, makes it look like a little fly window there. Wasn't that for Earnhardt?
Yes.
That was when he flipped and he crushed the roof down, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like when Petty crashed at Dover, and his arm was flopping all over the place, outside. A couple weeks later, they put window nets in.
Yeah.
Well, why does something have to happen?
Well, to your point, that's probably why NASCAR is doing these gen cars. They're really giving it some thought and making it happen so it's safer for everybody. I mean, because ultimately, do we really want to lose anybody?
No.
For a sport?
No.
And, I know I checked my life insurance and it says right in there, no auto racing.
Does it really?
Oh, absolutely.
Mine doesn't say that.
Really, you better check.
No.
They all check. They all say that.
Remember, I had that big crash. I was almost killed. I checked.
Did you? Yeah, check the fine print.
See, and
because it's in there, boy. I'll tell you,
and
I was
the
very
way
surprised.
It was sold, and real quick, we got to go to break. But the way that was sold for my insurance company to pay, because my insurance company thought it's your coverage with no fault, because it was a car racing accident. It was a car accident.
But you were covered under no fault.
Yeah. Thank God for NASCAR fighting that on for me. But you're certain things. The only thing that I can't.
You gotta look, man. You gotta look.
The
You gotta
only
look
thing
at the
that my
fine print, I'm telling
insurance
you.
won't pay off is suicide.
Well, it's a typical. But they have there's, motorcycles, race cars, yeah. So I'm thinking, you go to Disneyland, decide to plunk down your $150 for a ride around. Something happens. No, seriously. You got to think about these things.
Yeah.
That sucks, right?
But I'll be dead. So what difference would it make?
The reason if you got the life insurance is for somebody else, right? Family.
So, I don't know.
You made me the beneficiary, right?
That's why it don't matter.
Make
Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I couldn't resist. When we come back, what are we going to talk about? What we're going to talk about is some of the changes that are going on for NASCAR in 2021 and some NASCAR Whelen Modified talk as well when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8 Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hi, I'm Remington. I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
this is Chris and Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey, welcome back. So listen, at Village Music, be safe, have fun, play music, whether live or virtually online, or safely masked and social distance in person. They have music lessons for all ages, styles, and levels, from beginner to advanced. Also, they just added classes for recording technology, music production, and the art of DJing. So you can take this right online. They have some of the best teachers and some of the best people. So Village Music Shop Online University has you covered. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or message them and get started today on Facebook.
And it doesn't matter how old you are.
No, does not matter.
You decide that you're 62 years old and you want to play the guitar.
87, Herb.
Herb, 87, yeah, wow, see?
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's something you want to do. Your lifelong dream, you know, your kids are gone and empty nest syndrome, you have an empty bedroom, making a music room.
Herb is a classically trained guitarist who decided after so many years that he wanted to play drums. Came in to take drum lessons.
He saw the error of his ways and decided to be a drummer. Because without drums, there's no beat.
Oh, he's a great guitar player.
Nice.
But he just wanted to learn how to play drums. It was something he always wanted to do.
Wow, good for him.
Absolutely.
53 years playing the drums.
Really, you? And you still haven't gotten it right.
You know what? Here's my attitude.
You jammed with us before.
Oh, I have.
We did. I pulled you up on stage a couple times.
Here's how I look at it. So people says, you know, like when I'm in performing, and he says, "Aren't you nervous? Aren't you scared?" And I go, "No." I go, "Why not?" Because there's nobody out there that plays better than me. That's there at that place at that day. Who's gonna know?
Right.
I played at my daughter's wedding. I had a blast.
That's it.
You know,
it's all about having fun. I mean, really, what are we doing? You know, you getting ready for the garden, the Olive Garden. Where are you going to go? You know, it's about having fun. You know, it's what it is. You know,
the Olive Garden.
We need a stress reliever.
Yeah.
You know, you need something to calm you down.
You do.
You know, not everybody's into yoga or, you know, whatever else you might be into to calm you down. But you know what? You can come in, even if you don't practice throughout the week. Yeah. You come in for a nice half hour, you enjoy yourself, you jam a little bit, you have some fun. Yeah. I have one student, he comes in, he's like, I need to get my levels back up. He comes in, he gets his half-hour lesson, gets his levels back up. He's like, I'm ready for another week.
There you go. You know? And
whatever it takes.
It's funny that, and not that it's funny, but you know, I started playing the drums when I was 9 years old in school, and I was about 12. My aunt, who played in a professional country western band, traveled all over, all kinds of good stuff, and she sat me at her drum set, and I learned to play the drum set to the song "Knock 3 Times." That song is embedded into my brain 50 years later. And, you know, unfortunately, my aunt passed away recently, and the memory I have of her is sitting at her drum set, thinking I was who I was. And then I just started playing, and I played jazz, I played country, I played top 40, I played, you know, stuff I didn't even know what I was playing, but it was just keeping a backbeat rhythm. You know, and it was fun. You know, and the night I played with you guys, that was the night before I had my wreck, September 1st, 1996. I played with you guys August 31st. The Chili Peppers, which is no longer there.
No longer there. Well, it's there, some other name now.
Not far from the music studio here. And the thing that I remember the most about that is first of all, I got to share this little story. The waitress would come up and
this could be a drinking game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She'd give me a Heineken. This is from those two women at that table. Okay, I don't drink when I'm playing. I'm drinking Perrier. She goes, oh. I said, so if you want, charge them for the beer, but give me a Perrier. So boom, that's what we have. This arrangement made with the waitress, and as a drummer, you know, in between you reach down, you slam down. You know, like a guitar guy, he has to, you know, put his guitar on his side. He has to bend over on the floor. Mine, I was like right there. And then my wife at the time, I see her go into the ladies' room. And I'm playing, start to do my thing, and I see somebody come flying through the bathroom door, and I see my wife flying through the air like Superman, and they're rumbling. And I'm just doing my thing. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Apparently, the woman made a comment that she was going to take the drummer home. Didn't realize that my wife, now ex-wife, was there. Nobody was taking the drummer home except for her. So I'll never forget that night. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. It really was. Good stuff. Anyway.
So yes, this can happen to you if you take lessons. Bring your wife down. We'll show them how to fly through the bedroom door.
Man. The good old days. Still laugh about it. Anyway.
Well,
Hey.
you know what? It's good because there are a lot of things that revolve around music. I mean,
Without a
they
doubt.
bring back good memories for
They
you.
do. They really do. And
It's a good time.
It
And you know what?
is.
There's so many. Half a dozen race car drivers, even local guys, right off the top of my head, I can think that play who've come in and buy stuff. So.
yeah. And then and I always push the drum strings because as many performances, you got that backbeat rhythm going on, and you don't even have to be good to be a drummer. You just have to have good rhythm. You don't have to do that, Buddy Rich stuff and going all over the place. Just keeping a nice steady beat, and the guitar player, the bass player, they're gonna follow your lead, rhythm-wise. And if you're going a little too fast, they're gonna try to slow you down. As you know, sometimes the drummers get a little too fast. But any instrument. I mean, you have every instrument imaginable here.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
good stress reliever.
Yeah. So check
And
them
we
out.
got a lot of older beginners, which is good. It's pretty cool.
So-
And they all say the same thing. I had one today. Just she's like, "Listen, I'm just looking to have some fun."
Yeah.
That's all.
It's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Sometimes it's just getting out of the house and doing something.
That you know what? This is her half hour of whatever.
Right.
She could
Exactly.
be, doing whatever else, but this is her half hour just to get out and have fun.
So
That's what it's all about.
anyway,
So yeah, check them out. Give them a call.
Give 'em a call.
Stay safe. Have fun.
Yeah.
You can do this, online, and something to do in the wintertime.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Good, safe fun.
Yeah. Anyway, some of the changes, we talked about some of the changes last week. We got some more this week. Daniel Hemrick will drive Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 in the Xfinity Series in 2021. I recall Daniel Hemrick racing the Tormod on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour back when it was the Federlite Modified Series. So I wish Daniel well. And Long Island's Mike Wheeler has left the Levine family racing and will crew chief for the 2311 team with driver Bubba Wallace. So that team is kind of Long Island infused with Freddie Kraft announcing an hour after we shut the show down last week.
I saw that.
Freddie Kraft was 11 years with Bubba in a picture of the car. So
His timing sucked. He couldn't just call in.
yeah, he couldn't tell us. Fred, I know you watch. You couldn't give a call in and say, oh, before you go, we believe this is going to happen. Because I understand that he had to be done with Richard Petty Motorsports, which he spent some time with. Bubba ended up 22nd in the points in 2020. He had some signs of promise there, but he was a mid-pack guy, unfortunately. I don't think it's Bubba Wallace. I've watched him race K&N Pro Series cars. I watched him drive a Gander Outdoor World truck and win. I think Bubba Wallace is going to have a lot of success with the 23 team in 2021. So I wish them well. And Chase Briscoe, he's moving to Cub at Stewart Haas Racing to drive the 14, which was vacated by Clint Boyer. So got some good stuff going there. Good stuff going on. Yeah. When you look at, and then you call it the silly season, there's a website out there that's called the Silly Season, and they start talking about who's doing what, when, and where, and rumors they're hearing, and and understand, folks, that these drivers are under contract. They can't arbitrarily say mid-season, I'm tired of these freaking guys. Next year I'm going to go race with XYZ company. They can't do that. They're under contract.
Yeah.
It's like in professional football and baseball. A player can't say, I don't want to be with this team. No, next year I'm going to this team. And they approach me, and then the collusion stuff kicks in, and what's going on. You can't steal people. And since Richard Petty's been a car owner, the scuttlebutt out there is he doesn't have the technology that the other teams have, even though Richard Petty Motorsports is not just Richard Petty Motorsports. A lot of it, Richard Petty Motorsports is Richard Petty's name, and the Petty family has been in the business, in the NASCAR business almost since its inception. So the word in the street is Richard Petty Motorsports doesn't pay their guys top money, and they don't have the top equipment. They get a lot of help from a lot of the other owners, but I think Bubba Wallace is going to have an exceptional run with this Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan owned race team, because there's a lot of money that's being.
It's good. It'll be good to see. It'll be good to see.
And it's not even, they're not playing the racial card. He's a race car driver, and I've watched him throughout the years. I officiated in the K&N Pro Series East and West, and anytime he competed, he was a class act, and to me, he was a race car driver, not an African American race car driver. Because an Irish guy doesn't say I'm Irish American, an Italian guy doesn't say I'm Italian American. He's American, drives the race car. Just my feeling on that. Just my feeling. That's how I believe. But it's good to see that Freddie Kraft, who happens to be, for those who don't know, my cousin, who has grown up at racetracks since, I'm going to say before he was born. He's been going to the races.
Yes.
and he's driven race cars here on Long Island. And I remember when I was head guy here on Long Island, and gave Freddie a little job to keep him busy, because we realized that his ability to drive race cars wasn't really his cup of tea. He had fun, but I made him a pit reporter. So he'd be on the ramp with me. We see somebody pull in. Freddie, go find out. And he'd be with the mic in there, as they're trying to fix the car and beat it with sledgehammers and stuff. And then he'd come running back up. All right, they're coming back there. So, I'd call up to the tower. All right, listen, let's give him another lap to come back. Because I was a racer's official. As you know, you get your car ready to go racing, and some knucklehead takes you out and you crash. And you don't want your night to be over in a lap or two. You want to get the opportunity to get back out.
To get back out on track.
And I always try to help guys get back out, so to speak. And then another guy would put in, and Freddie go running down, and then you come running back up. Yeah, he's come back. But at the end of the night, Freddie's sitting on the block. He's like, now he just has to take the elevator up to the roof, get his radio, spread himself out real big.
And he's all good.
And he's all good. So I want to wish them well this upcoming season. So
a couple of people are talking about the Ice Up 300.
Yeah, they were, which was held at the Riverhead Raceway.
Yeah, nice race.
Won by Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
I was in the pool for that. I didn't do very well. Ryan Preece wasn't one of my choices. Not that I have anything against Ryan Preece, please. I like Ryan Preece, but I just, I went with Justin Bonsignor,
Yeah.
who does very well there. So.
Well, we got to take a break, but we'll talk about that more when we come back.
Come and we'll be back, and we'll talk about some
shortly.
Modified stuff and some of the other things going on in racing when we come back.
You keep your car tuned up and well maintained, right? Why? Because preparation and maintenance keeps your investment running perfectly. But are you doing the same for your largest investment, your home? Right now, homeowners can take advantage of a free home energy assessment sponsored by PSEG Long Island. Our experts will check your home for energy waste and help you get utility and state rebates and incentives, making your home healthier, more valuable, and more efficient, saving you money. This limited time offer won't last, so get to greenteamny.com/5off5on and sign up for your free home energy assessment now. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther. And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mert Will. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, we get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming You Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Hey, welcome back. Don't forget to give those green team guys a call. If you're done with those electric bills, those high electric bills or gas bills, give them a call. Let them either virtually or come in safely with a mask and check you out. Like a half hour, 30 minutes is all they need to go through and check out your stuff there, just to see if they can save you any kind of money and get your rebates and grants and stuff. It's all free of cost. There's no charge at all. So just click on that link and just sign up. It's quick, it's easy. They'll actually pick a time that works for you and come in and take care of it and give you some ideas, some pointers. The good part is that whatever they do to help you save money, it kind of certifies your house. So whether you sell it or you keep it, it kind of certifies that it's a little bit better and green.
Yeah, it's all good.
So what about those modifieds, huh?
Yay,
That's a lot of tire and a lot of motor, man. I'll tell you.
It's 300 laps, and there's no secret. 100 laps at Riverhead is a tough race, and the Tour does a 200, and the 300 is a throwback to the old World Series, or not the World Series, but the All-Star Racing League that used to come and had the All-Star 300. And every year the car count gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they did it right. I mean, Riverhead painted the wall,
Oh,
said
yeah.
Islip USA on it. Looked awesome.
Man, it was.
Yeah.
And and John Elwood, I believe his title is general manager, does a nice job with the facility. He put that nostalgia back. Not only in the name, but even the logo is that old sign that used to be on Sunrise Highway and Freeman Avenue. Islip Speedway with the arrow, like turn here. So, and they did it well. They did it right with the qualifying and how they did it. And there was actually live pits. They took the front half of the pit area, and every 2 spots was one,
right,
so that the teams could,
come in and do a live pit.
and do their stuff, and without who's all the way at the end and who's
Right.
at the front and who's here and who's there. But you know what bothered me about this? I mean, the event was Saturday. Thursday night, teams started lining up because it's first come, first serve on the pitting.
At the tracks?
At Riverhead Raceway.
Really?
And then people were going to work, coming home, and they're posting on social media, and for years it was you had spot number 142, you had spot number 76, and you didn't have to be there 2 days before to ensure you got a good. So I'm hoping that's something that gets addressed.
I'm surprised they just didn't, draw for it or something.
No, it was, and not to mention any name, it was one of the drivers who his shop is the closest to the racetrack, was the first one online. So I don't know.
He parked it there probably on Monday and went home.
What? I think when he left Saturday, he just backed it into that
Just backed it over there and said, lock it up and go home.
And not that that's not right, because if a guy wants to sit there, keep his equipment there for 3 days, that's his business.
That's all right, yeah.
But the race itself, the way it was run, the way it was done.
Flashbacks of me going to Waterford, getting there at 2 o'clock in the morning, just because that's when we wound up getting there.
Yeah. I did that with Pocono.
Being first online, yeah.
I was the first one online. I got there at like 3 in the morning, and there's nobody around. Let me just go to sleep. And then all of a sudden, I got that.
Yeah.
You can't park here. As they're opening the gate. Oh, okay, thank you. But anyway, speaking of modifieds, the Whalen Modified Tour has booked an event in upstate New York, at the New York International Raceway Park at Lancaster Speedway. It's also known as Lancaster Speedway. The race will be July 31st. It's been a long time since the modifieds went up there, and they'll be doing 150 laps. For those who said, where is that track? It's just outside of Buffalo. In addition, races will be at Martinsville Speedway on April 8th, and Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, and also Richmond Raceway in Virginia on September 10th. And the only other track that has confirmed that they will be putting on a show, and it was kind of iffy for a while, but the Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut has announced 3 tour events as well, and it'll be April 25th, August 6th, and September 25th, which will be the 4th final. The Thompson Motorsports Park in Connecticut has announced a 6-event open modified event for 2021. No Whaling Modified Tour in 2021 at the Thompson Motorsports Park, which used to hold 5 events. They'd open up with the Icebreaker, first race of the year under the old owner, Don Honig. He insisted on the first event. They called it the Icebreaker, and sometimes it was ice broken. And ending with the World Series of Auto Racing to end the season. So with the grandsons of Donald Honig running their facility now, they do things a little different. They built a road course there, and they rent out the facility to racing clubs. So it should be interesting. Interesting how.
Yeah, I was there with a couple of clubs.
Yeah. So anyway, some news that I wanted to share with everybody is that I'm not sure what I'm doing in 2021 racing-wise. I hope I'm still driving a vintage car, but I have a new book coming out. New book, A View from the Back Seat. PK Books Inc., my old publisher, is back on board. We're hoping to have it out by Christmas. Same storylines as the first 2, how auto racing affected the life of the main character. Fictional. Let me say it again, fictional. If you see yourself in it, it's just because you have an ego. You're not in it. Just kidding. Anyway, so we're going to do that again.
So that wasn't mean it?
Huh?
No, exactly.
Yes. In the first book, there were some obvious people, but like the promoters of the Peconic Bay Speedway, Fran and Ulysses people, you figured that one out, and some other people. But we had some fun with that one. And there's another one coming out in the spring called The View from the Inside, and then there's 2 more that we're working on. So we're gonna have some fun. And my publisher lives in Missouri now, so there's no chance of him coming on here, and we have to ring the bell and use a 7-second delay. So
good.
That's a good thing. But anyway, and don't forget with the teams, the interviews.
Yeah, we got those free interviews. So, now that the race season's kind of winding down a little bit, so if you guys have a team, drivers, team owners, crew members, if you get the blessing of the team and you guys want to come on, we're doing free 10-minute interviews right here on the 505 On Show. It's going to be a Zoom thing, so you don't have to worry about that. Coming into the studio, you could be anywhere in the country. I know we had a couple people that have asked, and so we said, let's do it. So it's a free thing, but it's 10 minutes, and you can talk about your sponsors, talk about your what you got coming up for 2021, what you did in 2020, and how you think you're going to better it. And this is all something that's going to be great to tell your sponsors and show them, because we'll give you a clip of the show. You can share it on social media and send it to your sponsors. It's going to get you a little bit more cred with your sponsors, the new ones and the old ones. But at the same token, it's also something that is going to make them say, hey, you know what? These guys really did went overboard for me. Because, we're getting about 20,000 views a show here in all the different forms, and different formats that we send it out in. So I think it's something that you can definitely help pump up your sponsorship package.
Absolutely.
By telling your sponsors. So yeah, just message us on Facebook and say free interview, and we'll get back to you. We'll give you a call. We'll set it up, give you a date, and this way you can get your Zoom all set to go.
Absolutely.
Get your camera, get your mic all set to go, and you want to be in your fire suit next to your car in the shop, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, should be a cool thing. I can't wait to see the way drivers respond to this. in the shop next to the car, you know, maybe a little backdrop. Who knows, you know? Let's see what they got.
Be creative.
Be creative, yeah.
Anyway,
absolutely.
we're getting the word that we got to go. So we got to go. So thanks, everybody, for being a part of tonight's show. We appreciate that. And so wherever your endeavors will bring you until the next show, please be safe, please be careful, and looking forward to next time.
Absolutely.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.